Well, hello, everyone. My name is Dyann Castro-Wehr, and I am the service assistant today. And we are so happy to celebrate with our music ministry, which is our house musicians, Deborah Davis, Marcia Osborne, and Kathy Murray. Thank you so much. And our guest musician, JP Falcon. We'd also like to extend our gratitude to the AV team, our greeter, food providers, chaplains, and all who serve in this service today. The message this morning is going to be given by Reverend Frank, if you want to come up and say a few words.
Well, it's obvious, so you think. Maybe not. So the talk today has to do with, it's like it seems so obvious, like how maybe it should be. And then God, divine source, says, well, maybe not that. Yeah, so today we're going to talk about being open to the divine pattern, and maybe in ways that we didn't see coming. And here it is. It is one of my teachers, Martha Creek, likes to say, you might as well accept it. Here it is.
And now, as we prepare for our time of reflection and meditation, I invite you to sit back in your chair and to take these words into your heart.
When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my soul go deeper, my soul go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. When I pray, I feel my love go deeper, my love go deeper into my God. Right here, right now, right where I am, I pray. When I pray, I feel my heart go deeper, my heart go deeper into my heart.
As we take a few moments for a time of short reflection, we'll go deeper together. And I invite you to join me in using a body gesture to take us into that place of deeper grounding. Frank will demonstrate as I lead. And we'll start with crossing our arms, and it's I am here in the lap now. I am here now. Let's do it a few times together. And I invite you to take a breath where it feels right for you, where it helps to settle into this place where you're at right now in this moment. Because that's all there is right now, is just this moment. I am here now. I am here now. One more. I am here now. So settled into your seat, let's take a moment to remember anyone that might be on our minds or heart in need of prayer. And I invite you to say their names out loud or silently in your heart. We see wholeness, goodness, grace, and the healing power of presence surrounding them now. And sinking a little deeper still, we're going to spend a few moments with a reflection on the spiritual power of imagination. This reflection was written by Unity Reverend Bronte Colbert. In this moment, I am aware of the presence of God flowing through me, energizing me, and renewing all areas of my life. I use my imagination, the creative power of spirit, to think about what I wish to see in my life. I let go of limiting thoughts and I relax into the playful joy of my imagination. I envision a healthy, energetic body, relationships that are loving, fun, and harmonious, success in my plans and endeavors, abundance, and dreams coming true. Fueled by the creative energy of the divine, my imagination explores my wishes and dreams. I have fun imagining, knowing my thoughts can be brought into reality. When I focus on life as a spiritual adventure, I can imagine gifts, opportunities, and the presence of spirit in every event and circumstance. That is, every event and circumstance. Grateful for my life today, I eagerly anticipate ongoing blessings in my continuing adventure in life. And the affirmation is, I'll say it once and then we can say it together. I create big, bold, and beautiful imaginings. My visions are lofty and my dreams are amazing. I create big, bold, and brilliant imaginings. My visions are lofty and my dreams are amazing.
Good morning. How are you guys doing today? Excuse me. I was sharing a story with Frank earlier, and this happened yesterday. I was out playing music at Semiyama Resort, and as I was playing, I noticed that there was a gentleman who was enjoying the music, and I could obviously see that he was sick. And you could tell by just the way he looked that he was sick. He was not well. And during my break, he came over and told me, hey, I live with my friends in Yakima, and they throw this great music fest every year. And it'd be great to have your band come over and play music. And I said, oh, your friends? Yeah. And he goes, yeah, they're right over here, and I'll call my friend over here. And he called his friend over, and he said, yeah. Anyway, they do this music thing. Please get in contact with them and see if we can make this happen. He goes, because I'd like to see this happen. And then he goes, I'm going to go sit down. And then his friend stuck around and said, I hate to tell you this, but my friend has terminal cancer. And he's not going to do anything. He's just going to ride out the rest of the journey and just kind of take it as is. And I said, I could tell that. I could tell that he wasn't well. And he goes, yeah, well, he's staying with us. We're going to take care of him. And he's going to live out the rest of his life healthy, happy, and protected. And I said, that's a good thing. He goes, yeah, I started off with nothing, but now we have a bunch. And if I can do anything for my friend, it's to let him live out his last days without a worry. He goes, and I said, so I gave him a big hug, and I said, you're doing a great thing for your friend. It's wonderful. It's a wonderful thing. So I sang a song for him, and it was a wonderful song. Little did I know there was a woman across the way who was watching, and she's from Italy. And she came up after the show, and she said, I have to ask you something. What was that song about? I saw the connection, and I couldn't help. Me and my husband were over here writing poetry, and I had to stop. She goes, I had tears coming down my face because I could feel what was going on. Could you tell me what was going on? I said, yes. This gentleman had terminal cancer, and he was passing away. He's not going to be with us much longer, so I sang that song for him. That's why I sang that song. And she goes, it was wonderful in your performance. And then she stopped and she said, not your performance, your sharing of yourself, your complete self with these people was amazing. She goes, so I wanted to thank you that. What is your name? And I said, my name is J.P. Falcon Grady. She goes, what does the J stand for? I said, John. She goes, oh, that was my son's name. And I went, oh, was? She goes, he died of terminal cancer too. He died of cancer also. And I went, wow. She goes, yes. And his last wish was for us to go to Montana. And I said, oh yeah, Montana. She goes, yes, to go to Montana. There's a camp there that it's his kind of a last wish kind of thing. And he was able to go to this camp. And he was able to see some of the area. We weren't there with him when he did this. But then when we went, before he left us, he said, please go to Montana, Mom and Dad, and go where I was at. And so she went, and they went to Montana, and she's telling me the story, and she goes, so we went to Montana, and we got to go up and around. We didn't see the whole state, but we got to see right where he was at and right where he was hanging around, and it was wonderful. And it was in Blackfeet country. And I said, well, it's amazing that you say my name is John and your son's name is John, and that he experienced such power in the Blackfeet Nation because I am from the Blackfeet Nation. And she was blown away. And I was blown away by the connection. And I said, oh, thank you so much for coming up and saying hello, and for making this kind of triangle your event, not just an imagination, you know. And I'm a recovering alcoholic. I've physically hurt people when I was a younger person. And at the time, I enjoyed it because of my sick mentality at the time. But I'm no longer in that area. I get to play music. I get to make those connections. And I get to sing this song. So please enjoy this. I know your time on earth was trouble. Only you could know the pain. You weren't afraid to face the devil, no. You were no stranger to the rain. Go rest high on the mountain. Oh, your work on earth is through. Go to heaven shouting love for the Father and the Son. Oh, how we wept the day you left us, gathered round your grave to grieve. How I wish I could see the angels' faces when they hear your sweet sweet voice sing. Go rest high on the mountain. Oh, your work on earth is through. Go to heaven shouting love for the Father and the Son. Go to heaven shouting love for the Father and the Son.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, I'm going to follow up with, since we're talking about deep reality. You know, it's interesting that for me lately, I'll just be honest, I haven't been sleeping well. Anybody else? I mean, I really know what 3 o'clock in the morning looks like now. That's a little different for me. I feel like I've been a person who's been pretty unflappable. And boy, I usually have a journal for like 5 months or 6 months. And I burned through one in about 5 weeks, getting up and just writing. Like, what is going on with me? I would say with us. And just kind of looking, scanning my body, it's like, what is going on and where is it landing? And I find for me, there's a lot of energy right here, which is interesting because when you kind of look at that, it usually relates to sadness. And I feel like I've been dealing with a lot of sadness lately. For a lot of reasons, maybe everyone in this room knows, especially being in unity. You know, Kelly, losing Kelly the other day, just having to say goodbye to her on this side of the journey, you know. Others. But also, it seems to me there was a trajectory, and for those of you who don't know me, this is just into my 5th year here. And I would say when I first, by the way, last year we did a unity convention for the region. Never happened here before. And we had the entire region meeting, 120 people showed. This room was packed for 3 days. And the way we turned out as a community was amazing. All the committees we had and the prayer consciousness that came out of it, I think, and that's what I experienced. Thank you, Sandra, for calling that together. And the groups, and how much cleaning up. The joke was, you know, imagine your in-laws are coming. They've never been to your house. Oh my God. We got to paint the foyer, you know, we got to get new plants. And all that happened, and there's all the inside group and the outside group, and, you know, Greg making the signs and fixing the stripes in the primary. And there was a part there leading up to the conference where sometimes at service we had over 70 people. And a thing that I've noticed that's happened is somehow we've been in a turn. And this is just what I see and notice is that there's maybe not as many of us And definitely, by the way, as a board, the giving has dropped off too. We just noticed that, the income has really gone down. And not as many people. And sometimes, me and maybe I won't speak for the other people on the board, as we have our finance meeting and we go, gulp. The savings account's been going down. So you just wonder what's happening. What is happening? And I'll speak from me and my perspective. I think there's a lot going on in our world. And I try to unplug. What we're talking this month about imagination, and what I could imagine for planet Earth we're doing so far off what I imagine for the good. And for my country, I feel like what I imagine for the United States, what I imagine, and I love to tell you what my imagining is, sure. More equity and support for people, and people supporting the health of basic human dignity, and an economy based on an exciting turn to a green economy. That's just like going, please, the earth is going, listen to me. I got a way that's better. It's greener. It's cheaper. The sun doesn't flow through the Strait of Hormuz. It's right there all the time. The wind is everywhere. Put a battery anywhere you want. Yeah. And just a sort of a sadness about the state of things. But I want to share with you something about the divine, my understanding of the godness of things. And I want to take a switch, if I may, just so to a bit of the Vedas. Now, when I say that, just so you know a piece about me, there was, for years when Dyann and I lived in Oakland, Friday night we'd go to the ashram and we would dance the dancing sapta. And they'd have a Kali statue and candles everywhere and a harmonium and drums, and we'd dance in circles, and our kids were little, they'd be, whoa, whoa. Usually pizza for the kids and great Indian food for the adults. And then on Saturday, I'd get up early and I'd go run in the redwoods. And at that point, I couldn't tell you which was the more spiritual thing for me. Just jumping over creeks and being in a redwood forest in Oakland up on Tilden, or dancing that sapta. And then on Sunday, we'd get up and we'd go to a Christian service, which I don't remember much because usually I was out in the playground bouncing kids. What was happening. But which part was more influential for me? This is before I knew anything about unity, but you could see why when I found unity, I went, that's it, all of it. So we learned and we saw these statues and learned the mythologies. And one of the great mythologies, it's called the Trimurti, and it has this sense where there's a one divine isness. You can't really name it because it's not an it. It just is. And they called it Brahman. Oneness, eternal, transcendent, the fullness, the wholeness, the allness. In Christianity, one of the mystics I really like, Meister Eckhart, said that's the Godhead, not God. Because God, has become a thing. So it's God or not God, and it's this or that, it's either. But Godhead, like oneness, isness. And in the beauty of the tradition, they said, and then the divine expresses as a bunch of divinities. Well, I can do that. And this Trimurti, the three divinities go Brahma and Vishnu and Shiva. And the general idea is the Brahma, the creator energy, and the Vishnu is sustainer, just keep things going, healthy growth, and then the Shiva energy on the other side is like, well, now we're going to change. And and this is wonderful, and they all have a consort. There's two sides to each one of these. Saraswati and Lakshmi, and then there's the consort of Shiva, which is Parvati, which means things are going to change in Shiva energy. There's something new coming. What happened all those years up until somewhere last year, now something new is coming. And Parvati goes, yeah, and that's the consort of Shiva. So they're like these gods at play, this dual energy. And as long as everything's okay, you go through this transition and it's all fine. But if there's resistance, if it's taking too long, if things have to happen, Parvati changes into this other goddess called Kali, the fire god. And she's going to go, well, no, things are going to change. You ready? Because they're going to happen. Like it or not, here it comes. And the statue is, at this point, this beautiful spiritual image. The Shiva lays down into a pose, into pure consciousness. And Kali gets up on top of Shiva and starts the dance with swords and heads and kill the ego. And this. Have you seen these symbols? It's wild. So why am I bringing that up? I'm feeling there's some Kali energy going on. Some energy that's just like, when we get into this energy of like, oh, things are going along as normal. And I have to say, as the minister who showed up here 4.5 years ago, couldn't I have gotten one of those times? Just like, oh, everything was good. You're just going to sustain. Keep the ball rolling. That's the idea. But you know what the world is like right now. And I wonder, and I'm throwing this out to you, is it just me? Are you feeling this energy? Does it feel like it's time for something to change? Does it feel like we're ready to get a fire lit under us? Because here's the thing about the goddess Kali, this expression of the consort of Shiva, this one expression of the one ultimate divine isness into this thing. It's like, here's a time to say, okay, so what is ours to do in this period of change? And how long has this period of change been going, I mean, maybe you trace it back to a decade of something brewing, something kicking up. And one of the things that it's called to me to really take a look at is issues of radical integrity. Radical, we're not just going to get along to get along. We're not going to just keep doing things because that's the way we do them. We're not, to really look at what deep inside us is being called to be birthed at this point. What deep yearning? Because I tell you, I'm willing to stand up to some deep yearning and get busy and then get a good night's sleep. I'd rather do that. Right? Do you guys do you know what I'm talking about here? It's like I'd rather work all day and trying to move things to a higher level of consciousness, deeper, whatever it is, whether it's deeper in my prayer life and both deeper in the active life. And so what's interesting is that already, at least as far as unity goes, as things unfold organically or however they seem to happen as the divine energy flows, already there's been some movement, some changes in the community. We did, by the way, and so I'm going to mention a little announcement here. So just a bit calendaring in the middle of the talk. Next week is Fourth Sunday, right? So that's an outdoor service. Unless it's raining, we know where we live, it'll be an indoor service. But if all possible, bring your lawn chair next week. We'll bring a lot of chairs out, but if you have a lawn chair, you can get into the grass. And we're going to have one of our contemplative outdoor services. Last time we did this, we had a lot of hawks join us for the prayer. Sweet. We'll see what happens this time. The following Sunday is the 4th of July. We're going to have a picnic. It's also our friend and our person who's the admin person here for more than a decade is retiring for lots of reasons. So we're going to have a barbecue. It's going to be, at the potluck is bring a side, we're going to have a 4th of July picnic. Then the following Sunday, which is the 12th, we're going to ask everybody, if they would be so kind, is after service, we're going to have, the board is going to make a presentation on a lot of the changes that are occurring and moving and things that are happening in the community. Introduce you to new employees. The first of which, who's already on board, is our new bookkeeper, who actually is also the bookkeeper at Unity of Olympia, and for Unity's, and for CSL Olympia, and for our regional board. So we've already found there's new expertise that's coming in to support us in this transition time. So lots of transitions happening. So here's the ask for everyone here. When it comes to feeling like the energy of things, let's realize that the divine flow is alive and present to us when there's new creation. Like, wow. Oh, I'm going to be a grandpa in weeks, right? It's coming. July 20th is the due date. We'll see if we make it that long. There's this new, beautiful creation and all that energy. And that's, you go, oh, that's the divine. Oh, God is good. Look at that. It's beautiful. And then things are going well. The Vishnu energy, sustaining. And the consort is Lakshmi, and the goddess of prosperity and abundance. And, oh, I can tell you stories of, I didn't start tithing because of Unity. I learned it way early with Lakshmi. And the blessings that come with being in a give and flow, energy, especially with money. Let it flow out and let it flow in and be in the flow. That was a Lakshmi thing for me. That's where I learned that. And Unity, we have that. But then it comes to Shiva, the goddess, the God energy of transformation. And then we go, well, that doesn't feel so much like God. That really, don't like that stuff. How you tell me that's good? We don't like that part. Or do we? Or do we? In some ways, this Trimurti, this experience of the divine, Brahma raises the sun this brand new day. Vishnu brings us through our day, and it's the energy that just brings it all through, and creative energy throughout the day. And Shiva brings the sun down and closes the day and leads into night, ends that energy, closes it down, says time for this part to end. And it has to end so that the morning can come. This has to happen so the next thing can happen. If this doesn't happen, we can't get to the next thing. You can't. And so this is what's happening. A time of challenge, and a time where we're really looking at, as a community, a transformation time. And I don't want to mix too many metaphors here. I'm talking about the Vedas and this Trimurti. But do you know it's also in the Chinese zodiac? We just started the year of the fire horse. Yeah, I believe that. Once every 60 years. Once again, I had to be the minister in the year of the fire horse. It's okay. I accept it. But here we are. All these things that show us and invite us into this awakened awareness that this is not something you go, well, something's wrong. This is something is afoot. Something is changing. Something is transforming. I pulled this card out of my Martha Creek. Welcome it all. You might as well. Welcome it all. You might as well. So I brought my symbol here is, here's the goddess, here's Shiva and the goddess Kali. All right, we're done with that. Sweep up the space. Think of a room, and you're in that room for so long, and every time you go in the room, you go, this is my place, and it feels so good. And I got all my stuff, and this pile over here, and this pile over here, and it's all good, and you like it so much. And then one day you walk in and you go, this place is a mess. I'm going to repaint the walls as soon as I get rid of all that, you know what. Wait, a year ago it was my good stuff, and now it's that. I think that's where we're at. It's It's this transformation time. It's let's clean out the room, let's move the energy, let's look, and then to end this whole thing, I want to, and it, your friend, I was thinking, it's just such a beautiful story about, this is the goddess, and meets us and says, it's transformation time. Always the promise on the other end of that is the Brahma that says, time to renew. Here's what's next. Here's what's new. And this beautiful divine cycle continues. The whole theme of this month was, we got a lot of themes going, but it was really imagination. We've been sitting on there. And last week, our friend Cindy talked about the twin sisters of imagination and faith. If you haven't heard that talk, it's online. It's beautiful last week. The guest speaker. Well, I want to suggest, too, there's another twin. Here's a few other twins. It's like if you can imagine it and have faith in it, you can create it. It's so true. These are divine principles. And I thought of this one that was making sense to me, imagination and order. What I can imagine, I can in my imagining, I can look forward and I can see how do these things, they seem like things are falling apart. They're not falling apart. They're just reshuffling to be put into a new order that will serve us going forward. And here's another one, imagination and love. What can I imagine that resonates? And a beautiful synonym for the word love is harmony. The Fillmores talk about love as the power of the harmonization power of life. Love means we found a way to do the dance in harmony, to have the music, just kind of like these songs they were singing, just beautiful harmonies. This is the energy of love. So I invite us into now knowing that and seeing and feeling, if you're feeling this with me, a bit of the sadness of the brokenness, of the falling apart of things, can we also stay in the anticipation of the rebirthing of things in new ways? And put that into our imagination. So let me close with a prayer. If you feel comfortable to, you can close your eyes and let's see if we just put this into a prayer. We know this. We know this truth of the divine presence, this oneness, this wholeness. It is the truth of the universe. And in all ways, and in all places, and all times, throughout the entire universe, throughout our galaxy, throughout our planet, throughout our culture, throughout our world, throughout our lives, the divine energy of order is at play. That divine energy of order is moving and reshuffling the pieces to unfold to the next and highest good, this all-loving presence, this all-loving good of the divine order. Imagine that, see that energy, see what potentially can unfold. And while it may be true that we perceive plenty of craziness in our or disruption or uncertainty or unknowing or things that seem very unsettling in our personal lives or in our community at Unity or in the world, in our city, in our state, in our world, we know this truth of the divine presence, the divine order. That is a movement, a certain movement to reorder things, and it asks one thing. This divine presence says, join me, rest in your I am consciousness, and be at one with this energy and this unfolding. Be open now, each of us. It is an ask. Be open. We allow that divine presence, that divine order to be the powerful presence and guiding factor, this guiding energy that says, imagine a new way to order things. Imagine a new way to put things in place to support people to their highest genius, to their highest good, to their highest expression. And then imagine along with that where love comes in, how we harmonize all things, all places, all peoples, all cultures, all religions, all faith traditions. We harmonize them all. We find the truths in all things. We see them all as different facets of one crystal with many faces. Do you imagine the fullness of how all these things, all these friends, all these places, all these cultures, all these traditions, all these religions, all this coming together and bringing a new order for our world? We bring all these new ideas and we let them harmonize with each other. We allow them to come forward and bless us in our community. We know that we are open to doing this. We know we have found through the years that we are able, and we say yes to being the ones to be open to this harmonization, to this restructuring, to this presentation of the divine order in our midst, in our community, for our city, for each other, for our highest good. We allow that divine imagination to be constantly at work. And in our prayer, we ask always and always, we stay open. What new ideas can unfold for my life, for our lives, for our community life? And what is being asked of me in this next harmonization of love in our world? So we sit with that energy, we send this prayer forward, we open, we resonate with the divine essence. We know our prayer goes forward. The divine has asked us, this powerful divine entity, it says, I am here, use me, sit in this energy and shine forth to be the Christ presence that we're each have been called to be. Yeah. And we go forward with the knowledge and the trust and the faith. The divine constantly working through us. It is the nature of our being. The nature of our being. We rely, we call forward on this power, this presence, and it will never fail us. Yeah, so it is.